This is black greatness that many have never heard. These are the first black athletes that broke barriers in all U.S. sports. They faced discrimination and hatred, and they still made history. Follow now, because this is the complete list of all the first black athletes in every sport in America, the pioneers and legends they never teach you about. We start with horse racing. Oliver Lewis won the very first Kentucky Derby in 1875, and black jockeys went on to dominate, winning 15 of the first 28 derbies. Track and field history begins with John Baxter Taylor, who became the first black American to win Olympic gold in 1908. Jesse Owens carried that legacy forward in 1936, winning an amazing 4 Olympic gold medals. Swimming saw its first black American male Olympic champion in Anthony Irvin at Sydney in 2000, followed by Cullen Jones in 2008. Simone Manuel made history in 2016 at Rio as the first black American woman to win Olympic swimming gold. In women's baseball, Toni Stone shattered barriers in 1953 when she joined the Negro Leagues, replacing none other than Hank Aaron on the Indianapolis Clowns. She was the first woman in an all-men's league. In wrestling, Kenny Monday became the first black American to win Olympic wrestling gold in 1988. In gymnastics, Dominique Dawes became the first black American woman to win Olympic gold in 1996 with the Magnificent Seven, paving the way for Simone Biles, who would become the sport's GOAT. In figure skating, Debbie Thomas became the first black American to win an Olympic medal in 1988. In baseball, the true first black player in Major League Baseball was Moses Fleetwood Walker, a catcher for the Toledo Blue Stockings in 1884. His brother Weldy also played that same year. Decades later, Jackie Robinson reintegrated the game in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers, becoming Rookie of the Year, MVP, and a Hall of Famer. Baseball's color line extended into every role. Emmett Ashford became the first black MLB umpire in 1966, and Frank Robinson became the first black manager in 1975 with the Cleveland Indians. In tennis, Althea Gibson broke barriers twice. In 1950 as the first black player at the U.S. Nationals, and in 1956 as the first to win a Grand Slam title at the French Open. In golf, Charlie Sifford became the first black man to earn a PGA Tour card in 1961 after the Caucasian-only clause was struck down. Althea Gibson once again made history, this time as the first black woman to join the LPGA Tour in 1964. In ice hockey, Willie O'Ree debuted with the Boston Bruins in 1958 as the first black NHL player, despite being blind in one eye. In football, Fritz Pollard and Bobby Marshall were the first black NFL players in 1920. Pollard also became the league's first black head coach in 1921. But the NFL later imposed a color ban that lasted until Kenny Washington and Woody Strode reintegrated the game in 1946 with the Los Angeles Rams. Basketball saw its breakthrough in 1950 when Earl Lloyd became the first black player to appear in an NBA game for the Washington Capitals. That same year, Chuck Cooper became the first black draftee and Nat Sweetwater Clifton the first to sign a contract. In coaching, Bill Russell made history as the NBA's first black head coach in 1966 with the Boston Celtics, while Earl Lloyd became the league's first black assistant coach and later its second black head coach in 1971 with the Detroit Pistons. In women's basketball, Lucia Harris became the only woman ever officially drafted by an NBA team in 1977 and also won an Olympic silver medal. Lisa Leslie carried the torch into the modern era, becoming the face of the WNBA and the first woman to dunk in a professional game in 2002. In men's boxing, Jack Johnson became the first black heavyweight champion of the world in 1908, changing not just sports but race relations around the globe. In women's boxing, Claressa Shields became the first black American woman and first American woman overall to win an Olympic gold medal in the 2012 London Olympics. She was only 17 years old at the time. In bowling, George Branham III became the first black bowler to win a national PBA Tour title in 1986. In lacrosse, Jim Brown was not only a legendary football player but also the first black All-American in lacrosse in the 1950s at Syracuse. In soccer, Eddie Hawkins became the first U.S.-born black professional player in 1984, while Kobe Jones became the most-capped black U.S. soccer player in the 1990s and a cornerstone of the U.S. men's national team. In volleyball, Rita Crockett became one of the first black women to medal in Olympic volleyball, winning silver at the 1984 Los Angeles Games. At the Winter Olympics, Shawnee Davis made history in 2006 in Torino as the first black athlete to win individual Winter Olympic gold in speed skating. And then Seba Johnson, at just 14 years old, became the first black woman skier to compete in the Winter Olympics in 1988 and remains the youngest ever alpine skier in Olympic history. And in rowing, Anita de France won a bronze medal in 1976, becoming the first African American woman to medal in Olympic rowing and later a groundbreaking leader in the International Olympic Committee. From baseball to rowing, to tennis and lacrosse, these black athletes shattered every barrier placed in front of them. So why don't we celebrate their names the same way we do so many that came after them? And which amazing black athletes had you never heard of? They should be remembered and talked about in every sport history class. Comment legends if you agree. Share this story so they are never forgotten, and follow for more of our amazing history and heritage.